Well, I reckon it's got to be the will. A little bit of skill, money to till, yeah, but it's got to be the will. Where it all began for me in this area was around about that photo time. Now, at that time, I was a secondary maths teacher and doing some work at university as well. I was over the fence from where you were in the special school. I was in a secondary school. We were a million miles away, actually. I don't think most of my colleagues have met a person with a disability, let alone tried to teach one. That was not just something that was done because we were about the same era. This is mid-90s, and I had been very interested in learners who had trouble learning mathematics, but the little blossom there, oh gosh, she's so cute, but you can't see it. You need another photo. With Down syndrome, me that know how to teach maths to people with Down syndrome. There's a life's work for them, isn't it? Yeah, wonderful. Well, now, it's a wonderful thing to have Ruth. She's been a real joy for us. And I reckon it's a very easy question to say, yes, she's beautiful, and yes, she's a joy. Now, I think that every family should have a child with Down syndrome. Now, who are the lucky ones? Can I see? Yes, we've got quite a few with us today. I'm sure you would agree. Now, her brothers, there's Luke. He's learnt to be a gentle, compassionate, kind person, the absolute hero for my Ruth. Oh, does she do anything Luke says? Yes. Anything in I Spy, he says, doesn't matter if it was what she was thinking of, he's got it. Yes, it's wonderful. Fabulous for Paul too. Look, he'll even play games with Ruth that he clearly detests, but he'll enjoy doing it. And one of the things that I think Paul's got from Ruth is a real sense of social justice. He's 2 years apart in age, and he has the most wonderful way, because I think Ruth has introduced us all to people with disabilities and the real strength that that's from. He's able to meet up with people. I remember when he was 7, I took him to a sheltered workshop, and some people with some fairly unusual behaviours, as you were saying before, Sydney, was not something that he worried about at all. Perfectly at ease. It was really very lovely. And one of the nice things about growing up with a sister just 2 years younger is that you see them in a particular way. And Ruth was invited to a sports day, and it was the special school sort of, not special school, so the regional Special Olympics sort of competition. So she got 2 days off school, and the letter came, and we opened it up, and Paul was furious, absolutely livid. Why did she get 2 days off school? There's nothing wrong with her. Just beautiful, because I think she's probably right. It's also been wonderful for us as parents. Now, you might think your kids grow up too fast. Well, can I recommend a child with developmental delay? You can enjoy their childhood for a very long time. And we've had such fun with Ruth. We really have had tremendous joy. And it's given us both a new direction, perhaps, in our lives. So, since necessarily get one yourself, it's really a shame, I know, but it's now my duty to share her with all of those who've missed out. So this is why we think inclusion's really, really important. It's your chance to share the joy. Now look at it there. Yeah, but her father's a professional musician, so if she didn't, it'd be a bit weird. It's not because she's got Down syndrome. Anyway, we like to have her in all sorts of places, and we've met wonderful people as a result. Some church groups we've been in. She never sits with her parents, always wants to sit with some much more interesting people. And we've met lifelong friends as a result, people who've opened their homes to us. Ruth's a very active scout. She's going through the levels, and she was one of the cub leaders or something. I think it was very exciting. It's marvellous for the other scouts to learn to have Ruth with them. But mostly it's very important that she's a part of school. And inclusion in schools is really important in my view, because it's absolutely critical for our society. But we have to have the will. The will matters. Now I'm going to tell you an input. I'm going to tell you a bit about our experiences of including Ruth in a local school setting. It's not a happy story, but it does have a happy ending. I'm going to sit down for a little bit because I've actually written this out because you might have been here till dawn. It goes on, so I'll write it so that I don't carry on too long. Okay, well, we moved to Townsville in 2000 and settled our boys at a school where the principal was past secretary of the Maths Teachers Association, so we had a common bond, and he was a friend of my brother-in-law. Well, it was pretty good. Ruth settled into the attached preschool beautifully and also attended the University Childcare Centre. Preschool, as you may have experienced here in Queensland, seems to be a time where they gather data. They find out everything that's going to be needed to help your child at school. Well, I have a few experiences in this part of Ruth's life. First one was being asked to approve an IQ test. Well, I loathe IQ tests, for kids with Down syndrome anyway. And so I got on the DSAQ parent list. Do I have to do this? I don't want to do this. And the answer came back no. And I thought, oh, fabulous, great. So I went up to the guidance officer who had supposedly been working with my daughter for a month, and I said, I don't have her have the testing because she's got the diagnosis of Down syndrome. You can just tick, I can't remember what box it was now. And this woman looked at me and she said, have you got a diagnosis? I was seriously worried. She'd been working with my daughter for a month. This is a way. Now, in a similar vein, a different woman who was the visiting sort of person, I don't know, resource, or I don't know, she would drop into the preschool centre once in a while and try to coax Ruth off the playground with all her mates to do some testing with M&Ms as the bit of the bribe. I'm really surprised that Ruth didn't go for that. She loves M&Ms. But anyway, she wasn't too keen on this. And this woman wrote this scathing report about her being defiant. Now, that's at the age of it. Now, look at it. How could that be defiant? And I'm thinking, is it just the mother here, you know, apple of the eye and all of that? And so I asked her preschool teacher at the University Childcare Centre, and I said, are you finding her defiant? And he said, no, he said, it's not like that at all. If I say, Ruth, put your lunchbox away, she'll say no. And I'll say, Ruth, I want you to take your lunchbox, go to the fridge, open the door, put it in, close the fridge. And he said, she's giving herself praise. I said, oh, thank you, Bill. Which, of course, it's same behaviour, but it's seeing it in a different way. And when you get a label like defiance, it's so negative. It gives you so much in your mental image of this little child when you haven't met her and you're reading just the report. Oh, well, we could go on and on and on. The speech-language pathologist who came and I said, you beauty, I'm going to find out some strategies, maybe get some ideas. No, she tested her. We were already working with the disability department speech pathologist who could have written a report having worked with her for a couple of years, but no, we waste the 1 hour we got with speech pathology on testing her again. A child, this woman didn't know, we know from literature that will change what happens anyway. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We waste too much money. The money in the till goes into gathering data instead of actually helping the teachers. So off she goes to primary school. Again, it was initially a great time for Ruth. The school was very welcoming, her brothers were already there, Luke had just left and gone to high school, but we were in the community and the school, and it was just going swimmingly. But then that lovely principal retired.